As a television producer, I see all sorts of opportunity to create programming that fills in some of these huge, ugly gaps in our education system where arts funding is no longer a priority. And I think as a culture, as a parent, as an educator, we have a responsibility to find other ways to fill in those gaps.
I have a moral obligation to the next generation. You get to a point in your career where you realize I must become a mentor.
Because we can't have generations of kids growing up without this inspiration, without this knowledge, and without these tools.
It's not about furthering my own personal career. It's about really giving as much as you can.
And I listened to a CD from there and I was like thrilled because the music was so catchy. And so when he offered to have these kids be part of Rhythm Village, I was, yes!
He's bringing music from the history of American music, and he's also bringing music that's fun to sing.
I knew when I heard this music that this was a cut above.
How we teach music, the nuances of that instruction changes a little over time. But at its core, it's the same. It is about hearing something, creating roadmaps in your brain for how sounds fit together and how one note connects to the next. It's like mathematics in terms of how we learn these patterns.
Counting one about the kangaroo, 1, 2, kangaroo. And and also I love United States of the Blues. That's like my favorite song. And it's supposed to be a kid's song. Grown-ups love it as much as the kids do. How can you go wrong? And I have to say that that's what helped me figure out what the names of the 50 states were, because I didn't know what they were. I'm from another country.
How we go from one to the next to the next. And that pattern recognition, that pattern awareness unlocks all sorts of intellectual pathways for kids. It's not just about learning music. It's about learning literature. It's about learning math. It's about learning science. All of these things fit together into a whole for making a whole child, a whole curious, intellectually stimulated, profoundly curious child.
I'll get an idea that I want to write a song about anything, shoestrings. Okay, I'll put that in my mind. Okay, I'm going to write a song about shoestrings. I won't sit down right away because I won't have any ideas, but if I keep it in this little compartment for the next 2-3 days, sure enough, things will start to come.
I'll say Kent is reaching that point where he's becoming, especially for the children's music, a really, really good, high-quality composer.
I was fortunate to be able to watch these songs unfolding in front of my eyes with the child audience and seeing how well they worked with the children.
They can be fun, the wordplay can be clever, and yet the overall message is so positive, is so constructive that it's always been easy to grab some of those songs and say, that's the one that we want about friendship or inclusion or diversity. And Kent's music, the things that he's written on those themes are just enduring.